Hi, my name is Maurice Oray. I'm the head of Corporate Policy Unit within the Strategy, Innovation and Risk Management Department. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the recent changes arising from the budget for the financial year 2016. This is Story za Ushuru. First of all, I've got to say that PAYE, or pay as you earn, is a source-based tax, which means it is the employer who is under obligation to deduct and collect the payment and remit to the tax administration. You might all be aware that the last time the tax bans basically means how the income to be taxed is spread on what an individual earns. And the tax bands, for your information, ranges between 10% and 30%. 10% on the lowest income and is graduated to 30% to the highest income. In the year 2016, the bands were expanded by 10%. And the lowest band that is taxable is Kenya shillings 134,104. That amount is taxed at 10%. So if an employee is earning 134,104, you tax it at 10%. If the employee earns more, then you go to the next graduated scale, which is at 15%. And the amendment that was done in 2016 required that any additional 126,403 is taxed at 15%. So if an employee earns 134,104 and earns an additional amount on top up to 126,403, then that amount, any additional amount, is taxed at 15%. If the additional amount now is more than 126,403, then it goes to the next bracket and is taxed at 20%. Now, that amount also is again an additional 126,403 on top of the 126 I've mentioned earlier, is taxed now at 20%. So if an employee earns more than 134,000 and an additional 126,000, then any amount on top again is taxed at 20%. That kind of scenario increases. If the employee again earns more than that in the next stage, then again now we tax it at 25%. Then any amount that now exceeds 513,373, then that amount is taxed at 30%. I want to talk about the other change. That was the increase on owner-occupier interest relief. Owner-occupied allowance is given to those employees who have taken a mortgage for the construction of a house which they occupy. And such mortgages are taken from a financial institution that is provided for under the Income Tax Act. The owner-occupier allowance operates like this. When an employee takes a loan and on which they pay interest charge, then the interest is given as a relief. It is deducted from the amount that is taxable. And under the new changes brought about by the Finance Act 2016, up to 300,000 of the interest that is payable is an allowable deduction for calculation of taxes. Previously, in the previous year, the owner-occupier interest relief was pegged at 150,000 per annum. But this was increased in the last financial budget, 2016, to 300,000 shillings per year. Going specifically to the issue of exemption of income on bonuses and overtime for low-income employees, I want first of all to clarify what a low-income employee means. A low-income employee means that employee who earns less than the minimum taxable income, which is 134,104 Kenya shillings per annum. Any bonuses or overtime paid to that employee should not be subject to tax. This amendment is effective from 1st of July 2016. Why was this amendment necessary? It's basically because we want equity. We want to increase the disposable income of the low-income employees so that they can also get good amount to meet their day-to-day requirements in terms of their basic needs. I hope from the analysis that I've given, you have a better understanding of the changes that came into effect from the budget for the financial year 2016. In case you have any queries, you can contact us on the details provided below. Others, thank you. This is the story za ushuru.